Hi everybody, I'm Jesse Kurtz here in the Mountain West Network studio. This week, Craig Thompson says goodbye to the Mountain West, retiring after 24 years as the only commissioner this league has ever known. His leadership and innovation not only helped shape the Mountain West, but changed college athletics.
The first ever event in the history of the Mountain West Conference. The Commissioner Craig Thompson tossing the coin between Colorado State and BYU.
In 1999, led by one of the top minds in sports, the Mountain West was ushered into the world of college athletics on the national stage.
To think that I was sitting there with Lee Corso and Kirk Herbstreit doing Thursday Night Football, and we had that moment when a conference was born. Very few happened at the Division I level. Very rare that you could be there for the beginning of it. And certainly for my years at ESPN, it's one of the highlights of being part of college athletics, was to be there the day the Mountain West kicked it off.
For the next 24 years, Craig Thompson solidified himself as one of the most respected leaders in the country, successfully navigating the ever-changing landscape of college athletics.
The proof's in the pudding right there. He's kept a good conference together and done some great things. And I think Craig's steady hand and reluctance to make some big move that maybe didn't really make sense, really had that in mind, that this is about developing youngsters to grow up and take our places one of these days.
Craig Thompson has been the man.
In many ways, Craig Thompson was an innovator and a pioneer. He helped pave the way for the first television network exclusively dedicated to a single college athletics conference.
2 years in the making, Marius. This has been an exciting day for all of us.
You have to see the forest through the trees, right? And, Craig certainly at that time, had that, what do you want to call it, that foresight, that gift. But most importantly, he had the courage to act on it, right? Like, moving away from the worldwide leader in sports is not an easy thing to do, right? It wasn't necessarily obvious that, in order to unlock your future, you had to leave the certainty of the worldwide leader. In part, really ahead of its time, right, as a regional, and really kind of, as you said, paved the way for some of these other conference channels.
Thompson not only changed the way we consume games, but also the rules by which they're played. Under his leadership, the Mountain West was the first conference to integrate coaches' challenges into replays.
The first step in putting the college game at an officiating level on equal field with the NFL. And so it was something that I think was obvious for everybody, that that's kind of where we were headed, but somebody had to pull the trigger on that and have the courage to say, let's implement this thing and make it happen. It's very clear that Craig thinks things through. He's not afraid to say, let's try this. This will make the game better, and let's do this. And those steps, when you look at where college football is today, it's a result of those decisions. Great decisions, great timing, but it took some courage to make those things happen.
Thompson was always the first to stand up for what's right.
Appreciate the opportunity to be here today.
In 2009, he testified in front of the United States Congress advocating for more inclusionary access to BCS bowls, and later took the lead in expanding the college football playoff.
He was a voice of reason, a voice of experience, clearly has had experience in all sports and brings some of that kind of all sports knowledge to football. When we started the college football playoff, of course, he was on the working group that came up with the format that we ultimately adopted. Just a great thinker. Craig was able to, push a little bit for the G5, quote unquote, push for the interests, most importantly, of the Mountain West Conference. And but he saw the big picture too. And it takes a real special individual to hold those two kinds of things in their head at once, knowing he has to fall over onto the side of what's good for the Mountain West Conference, but keeping in mind what's good for the game of college football.
We've been in contact with the Rose Bowl. The Orange Bowl is here today. The Sugar Bowl was at the San Diego State game. And
thanks to his efforts, the Mountain West won multiple BCS and New Year's Six bowl games, proving the teams in his league were worthy of national praise.
The Utah Utes conclude a perfect season.
Craig did a fantastic job for the conference all during his tenure. Was instrumental in getting University of Utah a shot at the BCS. He fought for the group of 5 teams relentlessly, tirelessly, around the clock, and he was a guy that really was great for the Mountain West Conference and really put the Mountain West Conference on the map.
I've been a playoff guy since I've been in college athletics.
His guidance not only helped shape the college football playoff, but the bowl structure as a whole. Craig Thompson helped create multiple bowl games in his career to ensure opportunities for Mountain West teams to compete in the postseason. The Mountain West has been a part of 7 inaugural bowl games.
We were excited to have a bowl game. We wanted to run a bowl game. We were all old Fiesta Bowl people. We knew what we wanted to do, but Craig needed it for his institutions. That's all Craig did was watch out for the institutions. We put on a bowl game in 3 months, but Craig's leadership and the Mountain West foresight on digital only, doing something different. People forget that the Arizona Bowl was the first digitally run bowl ever in the history of football. And it was because the Mountain West was so far ahead of everybody else.
As a 43-year veteran of athletic administration, Thompson's leadership and guidance routinely expanded beyond just the Mountain West. He is one of only 4 individuals to have twice served on the NCAA Division I Men's Basketball Committee, including a stint as the chair in 2000.
You've got to play good people and you have to have beaten somebody along the way.
It brought back this person who had just incredible experience, perspective, leadership qualities, and history that brought just such a rich dynamic to the room. And you know, Craig is so humble and understated, and yet incredibly well respected and trusted, that when he spoke, you could just see everyone in the room, you know, paying particular attention to his viewpoints. It's kind of like E.F. Hutton, you know, when he spoke, people listened.
A nationally respected voice and leaned upon leader, Craig Thompson's positive impact will be felt for years to come.
Craig had the great perspective of understanding what worked in college athletics, and here we are a quarter century later, and as the landscape keeps moving and shifting and turning, the Mountain West still has a really good and really important place. And I don't think it would be that way if it wasn't for having Craig Thompson as the commissioner right from the start.
It's been a career certainly worth celebrating. Craig, on behalf of the Mountain West, thank you for your leadership. College athletics is in a better place because of your work. Best of luck in your retirement. For the Mountain West Network studio, I'm Jesse Kurtz.